Hello, I am an ophthalmologist resident and I am going to present in this channel a few cases through my cataract journey, my journey as an ocular surgeon. This is the third cataract case I've done in my life. I'm first just passing through to second year resident and I'm 26 years old. And yeah, basically in my hospital what we do is we do several steps throughout the first year, and then when we start the second year we're already starting our first surgeries. I'm gonna post here in this channel a few most of my surgeries just basically to review them and get feedback of other ophthalmologists or other residents that would like to contribute to my evolution as a surgeon. This is a case of a 76 years old woman with a pretty standard cataract case, and I'm always supervised by a consultant surgeon. So yeah, basically here I start. I'm gonna review my errors through the surgery. So I start doing the Capsulorhexis with the cystosome. In this case, I did not do a very nice flap. I got like a Y-shaped flap, which made the surgery a little bit harder, the Capsulorhexis afterwards. Here I'm commenting with my surgeon that I have to take that flap and try to do the Capsulorhexis around the other side, which was already elevated, to get it all into the flap and not get any edges at the side of the rhexis. So yeah, basically I here I do the flap. At the start I do it a little bit small, and then I open up to get that part of the flap inside of the rhexis, and I extend the rhexis a little bit more to get a more or less 5.5 millimeter rhexis. In the case, at the end, it was not a perfect rhexis. It was a little bit decentered, probably because of the start of the cystosome. Here we are commenting that it was a little bit off-centered, but at the end it was pretty decent, and it allowed me to do the case pretty nice. In this case, it's the case is ×2 speed, so it's not too long, and it was more or less like a 22-minute case. Here I take all the viscoelastic, the OVD, out. It's a step that I find pretty difficult at this stage because I don't depress the lower part of the incision well, and I don't get everything out correctly most of the times, and then it makes it very difficult to do the hydrodissection because of the pressure that's still in the anterior chamber. Here I do the hydrodissection and hydrodelineation, mostly not directly in front of the incision, to reduce the risk of posterior capsule rupture when doing this maneuver to the minimum, because I've seen quite a few cases of this happening. And yeah, this is also a pretty limiting step at my right now, because I do find it quite difficult sometimes to get a full rotation of the cataract. Here it went pretty well, and yeah, basically I now get my instruments in, and I will start to do the central groove to do just a divide and conquer strategy, because it's what I'm starting learning, and it's what I find easier. So yeah, I have a very longitudinal and no rotational force in this phase, so it's easier to get the groove done and easier to break afterwards, because if I have a little bit of rotational power, the groove is too big and I can't break correctly. This is one of the parts that I find more challenging right now. I don't get the instruments too deep inside. Here the video is not really of a great quality. I'll try to do them better in the next time. Here I break the cataract pretty nicely, and here in the another segment I find it a little bit challenging, mostly because I think I don't get my left instrument too deep into the groove, so it doesn't break pretty nice. At the end I managed to do it, and yeah, basically now I take the parts out the iris plane pretty easily. This is the next step. Here it was a little bit big, so with my rotator I make it smaller pieces. Now here I rotate the part, and I try to break again. Just basically I was trying to practice, because my consultant doctor, the surgeon which was with operating room with me, was telling me just to take that half out and then break it with a rotator. But I wanted to practice doing another groove and getting into the deep part of the groove, just to practice this movement. Here I managed to break pretty nicely and then take the nuclear parts out. I always leave the rotator below the phaco, just to protect the posterior capsule, although there's still epinucleus inside, and it's pretty rare that something is gonna break. And now the surge problems and all of this are pretty rare with the new machines. Here I find it a little bit challenging to get the epinucleus out. Here the BSS ran out, so we have to change the BSS. And yeah, here I was trying to grab a little bit of the epinucleus, and with the rotator move it from the lower part, just to get it up into the iris plane. Here I managed to do it pretty nice. And yeah, this is all finished, and now we're gonna go through to the cortex part. Here I wasn't in the right mode, and that's what I got the air bubble. That's not a really big of a deal. I just now aspirate it out, and I start the cortex. I was always told to start with the subincisional cortex, because there's more cortex still in the eye, and it's easier to get a grab of it. And if you leave it to the last time, it may be a little bit more challenging. But at the end of the day, if you do it correctly, there shouldn't be much of a difference. Here I try to get that subincisional part. I can't get it through that side, so the consultant tells me to try it on the other side, and it comes out very nicely. Here I get the rest of the cortex out pretty easily. I should have gotten that air bubble out in the first place, but it wasn't too annoying as it was in the outside. All of the surgery was not pretty well centered. I have to work on that, getting the eye perfectly centered in the center and not moving. Also, I have to work on my left foot, like getting I didn't move the focus plane in all the surgery. I need to try to get the focus plane down when I'm doing the working on the cataract, and then up when I'm working on the iris plane. Here I put the lens in, pretty simple. So yeah, basically any suggestions that you guys see, or anything that you find I should be doing better, just write them in the comment section, and I will try to answer them and try to implant them in my surgeries, and I will submit more videos of how I develop as a surgeon, because this was basically my third case, so I still have a pretty long trajectory of working on this on cataract surgeries. Now once the OBD is out, I just hydrate the incision, the top of part of the incision. I think the incision was pretty well done, so it shouldn't need any excessive hydration. It was maybe a little bit too short, but at the end it turned out pretty well. Hydrate a little bit more just to get the anterior chamber with a normal size. See that there's no leakage. A little bit more hydration. Here I lose that XY. I have to try to keep the eye in the center. I told the patient to move down, to look down to his feet, to try and hydrate perfectly, easier. And I put the antibiotic, and basically that's the case done. So if you have any suggestions or anything, just let me know in the comment section. So subscribe to see how this develops through the months and through the years, how I improve in my surgery technique. And any suggestions, they are more than welcomed. Thank you, and bye-bye.